Hello, boys and ghouls. It's your favorite horror heathen, the Horror Heathen YouTube channel, and the South Jersey Horror Podcast, and all Deadites, everybody out there. I have a very special and honored guest today, and I am super happy because you are one of my favorite actresses in Hollywood, and you played the best part in The Evil Dead. Hey, she disappeared on me.
No, I'm back.
She's like, "Oh God, just good to go away." So Um, I'm hoping this is right because every time I do an intro on a celebrity, like 9 times out of 10, the internet is wrong, and it makes me look really weird and really bad on my videos. So I'm hoping this information is correct. If not, just say it's not. Stop me. It's like, hey, that's not right. Because when I interviewed John Shepard yesterday, like 80% of what I got from the internet was completely wrong, but he was cool about it. So so you were born in May of 1955 in Iowa.
You're
And
you're you're right on so far.
okay, off to a good start. All right.
Yep.
You had graduated with a combined degree in theater and classical voice from Michigan State University and embarked upon headline and get I'm sorry, go ahead. Oh, check.
Check. Check.
You embarked on I lost my spot now. Embarked upon headline engagements throughout the South, including the Eden Rock and Miami Beach and other venues with a group called Musicana. Did I pronounce that right?
Check. Check.
You eventually found yourself in Detroit, where you honed in on your craft in television, radio voiceovers, industrial films, and films nationwide.
Check. Check. Check.
Okay, so far so good. You are infamously known as Linda from The Evil Dead, and alongside Bruce Campbell, Ellen Sandweiss, Richard DeManicore, and Teresa Tilly.
That is
So,
correct.
all right, I'm super proud of the internet today.
You get an A+ so far.
So, how are you doing? Can I call you Betsy? Is
Yeah.
that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm
Okay.
I'm doing well. How are you? I'm well, thank you.
I am, like I said, I'm super stoked because like I said, you were one of my favorite characters and one of my favorite actors. I've been following you for a long time. So yeah,
Check. 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 Okay.
so is there anything else that you would like to tell about the audience that I was not be able to tell them that you could brag about and boast about?
Oh, there's so much. Let's just dig in and see what you. Let's just see what you have.
Well, that's it. That's the intro I have so
That's
far.
it. That's
So,
it.
okay.
Okay. Well, this has been fun. Thanks so much for having me. No, ask away. What gosh. I lead a life of motherhood. I'm a mom of two. They're grown-up adults now. I've been married for almost 40 years. Let's see. I took a break from acting to raise my kids and have another business of my own and came back. And I've been very, very fortunate with some of the roles I've been able to receive.
Excellent. I like it.
Okay.
So 40 years, congratulations. That's a long
Thank
time.
you. Thank you
My
very
wife and
much.
I my wife and I just celebrated our 12th year anniversary, which is nothing compared to yours. So.
Oh, well, congratulations to you as well. It's a feat.
It is. It is. If you get past those first 2 years, I think the marriage can go perfectly. So,
Yes. All right, you can dream, but whatever. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Congratulations. Yeah.
so for the role of Linda in The Evil Dead, were you chosen by Sam Raimi or did you have to audition for it?
It was a little bit of both. I actually met with Sam and Bruce and Rob. I was living and working in Detroit. I had an agency. I was doing a lot of live narration, a lot of auto shows, nationwide, and a lot of industrial films and some commercials. And they came to me and said, there are three young gentlemen that want to talk to you about perhaps being in their movie, and that's all we know. Would you be interested in meeting with them? And I immediately said, well, okay, when's the audition? Well, it's not an audition. They just want to meet with you. And, but they don't want to meet with you here in the office. They want to just meet casually, like in a restaurant. Well, to me back then in my early 20s, casually in a restaurant meant they could kill me and just, dismember me and put me in a trunk. So I said, well,
Nice.
okay, it'll have to be during the day. And I had a boyfriend at the time. different than the person I'm married to. And I said, you come with me, you stay in the car. If I don't come out in like 30 or 40 minutes, come in and get me. Literally that's what happened.
Calling a bomb
And
scare.
I walked into this restaurant, and here were three younger kids, because they were all younger than I was, still are. And they were literally like drinking Pepsi Colas or Coca Colas or, Dr. Peppers or whatever, and throwing spit wads at each other, or blowing straw covers. And so I thought, I think this is pretty harmless if these are the three guys that I'm looking for. And it was the only three gentlemen in the restaurant. So I kind of hit the mark there. We talked for a while, and then Sam said, well, would you like to come over and read some scenes and audition this Saturday? And I said, sure. He goes, well, here's the address. And it was his parents' house. He was still living with his parents.
Wow.
So that's what we did. So when I got there and read a couple of scenes, he then asked me right there if I would like to have the role of Linda.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was looking back on it, was a different experience than most.
So after reading the entire script, were you still like full into it, like ready to do it?
Well, yeah, because I don't know if you've heard, or maybe some of the fans have heard, the script was really loosely written. It said, I have the script. I'm actually looking at a bookshelf of mine right now in this room, looking where the script is. And it was not anywhere in detail. None of the details were there of some of the things that went on in the script. And so a lot of it was improv or created there on the set. So I said to myself, I've never, I've been talking about automobiles and engines and transmissions and, leather seats and how luxurious they are. This is really interesting. So I could say I've done a thriller. I've done a horror movie, a feature film horror movie. So, but it's not, the plot is the same, but the extraneous activities and things like that were not in the script.
Well, can you elaborate on the extreme
Oh,
activities?
sure. There may be a page in the script that says, at this time, Linda and Ash start to battle, or Linda and the demonized Linda and Ash start to battle physically in the living room. And that may have been describing the whole scene where I'm in my nightgown. I have the Kandarian dagger. I have the lenses in so I can't see. And you see a raging battle, physical battle between Linda and Ash for the next 2.5 minutes. And that includes, me going for him, which I can't see a thing. It all had to be choreographed because it was a real dagger. I didn't really at the time want to hurt Bruce. And then throwing me against the wall, and then throwing Bruce back against the wall where the bookshelves come down and collapse. None of that was in the script. It might have just been a page where it said, at this time, Ash and demonized Linda start to battle.
And you're like, this wasn't a script.
I know, I'd been in fights before. I know how to use my words. And so I thought, okay. And then we would just go on and on and on. So that was just one example. I do not think it was in the script there once that battle was over, or once he attacked me, that he would drag me by my feet across the wood cabin floor and down those 4 steps and then up the hill. I'm pretty certain that wasn't in there either. Yeah.
Here, follow me. Clunk, 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 clunk.
Exactly. So there's a lot of that. Sam had his vision, but it just wasn't written down in the script.
Wow. But yet you did it so well. And I applaud you. I really do.
Thank you. Blood, sweat, and tears. No stand-ins, no coffee, no warm, comfortable trailers, nothing.
So was it like shot during the wintertime?
It was shot during November, December, January, February, March, April, and then I think some more in May and June. And yes, we were actually going to shoot it in the Detroit area, but they predicted a very cold winter. So they went to a different location, which was, in the hills of Tennessee, thinking it'd be warmer. And it was one of the coldest, falls and winters there. And we shot with the exception of the driving scenes and the scenes crossing the bridge during the day. Every other scene, meaning the remainder of the movie, was shot at night.
I'm sorry. I would have to have heat if I'm filming.
No,
And
we
then,
did. They finally brought in heat, but here's what they brought in. I have no idea what effects it has, but they brought in one of those things back in the 70s, which you used to find on the football fields. And the guys would stand out, the pro football teams, and if they got cold, they would stand next to it or, 20 feet away from it. And it was one of these heaters that took gasoline or whatever, and it would heat the cabin. Of course, we'd all be nauseous. We would literally be sick from smelling these fumes, but we had no idea back then that they could have been dangerous.
yeah,
But
yeah.
and we wore, a lot of if anybody sees any just stills and pictures taken of the set, we were always in jackets and scarves and hats and mittens, until the scene was shot. Because we were
Scarves,
cold.
hats. Oh my.
Yeah, we were cold.
Well, I am a huge fan of practical special effects and makeup. I mean, it's the best. I prefer way more than CGI than computer animated stuff. Did it take long to do your makeup, or just like a quick apply and like put some contacts in and go?
It took time. The characters of Shelley and Cheryl, when they became demonized, they had, the masks. We all were fitted for masks, like a plaster mask. Then it was made with silicone and rubber. After that plaster is made, we all got had a plaster mask made in Sam's parents' basement by the wonderful Tom Sullivan, who did all the special effects. What happened with the character of Linda is that after 2 or 3 nights of putting this on, and you used glue to put it on, and it was uncomfortable, and it was hot, and it just smelled. They were just awful. And the sclera lens were very difficult and challenging to put on. They were not like the contact lenses you and I wear today. They were very hard plastic. I mean, you could hit them and they would make that kind of sound. You could tap them and they would make that kind of
Oh wow.
sound. And they were very thick. And because they were thick and opaque, you could only wear them, I think it was 15 minutes max, because your eyes need oxygen to be eyes. And we were fitted by an optometrist, and they actually had the optometrist come down to Tennessee to make sure we were wearing them correctly, which we were. It just that sometimes the production staff was not following all the directions. And at that time, then the lens in your eyeball get very dry and you can't get the lenses out, regardless of what I just said. I had a talk with Sam one night on the set, and I said, this mask isn't working for me. Linda seems like such a nice girlfriend. What if we just went the opposite direction? And how would you feel if Linda was just this very, 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 very obnoxiously, candied apple sweet girl that was just so sweet you just couldn't stand her? And he said, well, like what? I said, well, I don't know. She'd have this little sweet voice. Maybe not the mask, but maybe just like red cheeks like a doll. And then, and then maybe she would sing a song, whenever she was, in her demonic stage. And Sam was like a child, and he goes, oh, that's so creepy. That'll work. And let's try it. And so we discarded the mask after a couple nights. And for those fans who are really huge fans and know the movie well, when Ash pulls Linda out of the cabin by her feet, there is a quick cut along the ground, along the cabin floor, and you can see Linda writhing in pain and demonic, nature. And you can see that I have the mask on. But that's the only time you see the mask. They couldn't cut that. So the rest of the time, like in the hallway, in the doorway, and when she's fighting, we overdid baby doll makeup with eyes and the eyelashes and the cheeks. But you can see just a little bit of my mask for 1 second.
I'm gonna have to keep an eye off that. I've watched the movie several times, but now I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for that because it's a special Easter egg that people look for.
Little Easter egg. It's right there in front of you. You can't miss it if you look. And the next time you go, why did I not see that before?
So we'll go frame by frame just to watch.
Yeah.
So, were there any favorite scenes that you enjoyed filming?
No,
No? Okay.
no,
Wow.
there were not. There was not one favorite scene. You know, people ask me about the necklace scene, the kissing romantic scene, and you know, Bruce will be the first to admit it too. I mean, we were in our 20s. I hadn't had a lot of boyfriends. He hadn't had a lot of girlfriends. And now it was like one of the first movies that we were ever in that we would have to have this romantic kissing scene. And Sam would want to get really close up. And it was very innocent. I mean, we didn't, it was just a kiss. But it got to be the point where it was so funny because the necklace, you know, Bruce's character was like, I really spent a lot of time going to a jewelry store and buying you this necklace, which was god awful. It was like magnifying glass. That's all it was. And I was so sickening sweet. And I kept saying, oh my gosh, I'll never take it off. Oh my God. No woman in her right mind would ever put it on. But we had a lot of good laughs that night because it was a funny, awkward scene. We had to play it realistically. And then we each went in for a little kiss. And then Sam got such a kick out of teasing his good friend Bruce. Oh, we're going to do it again, another take. And I don't know, we did 15 or 20 takes, you know, and Sam was just enjoying it the whole time.
Like, hold up, more chapstick, please.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, if there was a scene that was an enjoyable scene, but none of the others, none of the others really enjoyable.
Nothing to look forward to in the
You
movie.
did it for the art. Yeah, you did it for the art.
So I know that Bruce Campbell is hilarious on the screen. What's he like off screen? Is he the same way, same personality?
Yeah, well, yeah, we had some really good laughs. We actually do conventions sometimes now, and we see each other in public. I mean, or at these events, and we have some really good laughs. But he's a very savvy businessman. He's a very talented person, and he's an incredibly savvy businessman as well. So, you know, we've had over the years, we've had discussions all the way from politics and who should be running the government to, you know, who's going to pay the bill, and you know, where did you get that god awful shirt that you're wearing? So it goes the whole realm. But he's an incredibly talented and an incredibly funny person, off screen and
Nice.
on screen.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I know he's always wearing the same shirt no matter where he goes.
Well, he certainly has a wardrobe. He definitely has a wardrobe. Yeah.
So, are there any upcoming projects? I know you're a baker, right? You got your own baking page. It's called Betsy's Baker. I think it's
Yeah,
one
but
of the
I
websites.
just bake for my family. I just, you
Oh,
know, I just bake for my family. I like to find recipes that are like, pardon me, 6 ingredients or less. Nothing too hard, which means like, you know, slicing an apple.
for
Yeah,
some,
I
it's a
don't.
challenge.
Yeah, I have taught for many years, up until just the last couple of years. With the pandemic, I taught for almost 25 years vocal music for the elementary schools, and that was a real, in all sincerity, a true joy of mine because I taught music from pre-K to 5th grade, and the young, you know, the kids are so craving music and wanting to express themselves in music. So that was a lot of fun. I'm actually just going through all of the old music and siphoning it out to friends and relatives now, and brings back a lot of memories. But I also have some projects coming up. Unfortunately or fortunately, some of them I can't talk about right now. But they're coming out this year, so just watch for me. I don't have a huge, big. I don't do a lot of social media. People say, "Well, why not?" I'm going, "Well, it's technologically advanced for me." So
You're
I
not the
don't do a
first to tell
lot.
me. You're not
I
the
don't
first to
do a
tell me
lot of
that.
that. But I have some things coming up. Yeah, I have a movie called Lola with Nicola Peltz coming out. Let's see. I've done a couple of dramas, weekly dramas on television that are coming out in the next few months, and a comedy from Tyler Perry coming out, and I have a commercial on not taking your kids to Las Vegas out running right now. So
Okay.
um, I'm very fortunate in staying busy, and I do a lot of I do some voiceover dubbing for foreign films. I'm the English speaking one, so unless you're like into Turkish or German or Spanish or Italian movies on a regular basis, you might miss me, but it's just my voice anyway, so it's okay.
So my daughter, like how you mentioned, singing and being a voice actor. My daughter loves to sing. I
Oh,
mean,
have
it's
I
like
got
one
some
of.
music for you?
Do you have any advice for her that you can give to her because she's still working on her voices and she's good, but she can get better. I mean that in the
How
most
old is
sincere.
she?
She is eight. She just turned 18 8 days
Hmm.
ago. So,
Happy birthday.
or was it January 11th? Sorry, 9 days ago. Yeah, she just
Happy
just turned
birthday.
18.
Is she singing now? Is she in a group or a band or a
No, she was in
choir?
choir. She was in choir, but she absolutely loved it. And now she's going to another school where choir is not an option. And it broke her heart. I was like, well, that's bad. So, but she loves singing. She has the voice of an angel, but
Oh,
I just, any advice to help her out would be great. So that you can give.
you know what? I'm sorry that the school that she's attending does not have it sounds like they might have a vocal program, but that she just can't get into at the moment or whatever, or I would, oh boy, I would really urge her if she enjoys it, keep singing. I swear to God, I have so much sheet music. I'd be happy to send you some of all different kinds of sheet music. I don't know. There may be a local group, a local community choir or an organization, that she might be able to join, or maybe a junior college where they may have a community choir, because I tell you, it fills the soul and it brightens the heart. And that's what I always told my kids. And it didn't matter whether they're 4 years old or 11 years old. I said, always sing from your heart. And that's all that matters. So if she's enjoying singing, I hope she can find something that will continue to bring her joy.
She does because every once in a while, I think the first time I ever heard her sing, I think she was 14, and I was downstairs cooking dinner, and I hear this singing. Like, who is that? That sounds really good. So I
Mm.
walked up outside her door. I was like, "Oh my god, she is! My daughter is singing." I forgot what song she was singing. That was so long ago, but yeah, it just said it was really good, and she had the right tone, the right I was the tone, the right volume going for each part. I was like, "Oh my god!" And I tried getting her. She like I said she went to choir, and now she's going to different school without a choir program. And I just told her to keep doing it. It makes her happy. So just keep singing.
Yeah, I totally concur.
Yeah, so I have one teeny tiny favor to ask you, and you probably get asked this all the time. Can you say we're going to get you in that creepy voice?
Well, I don't know if it's as creepy as you remember. It's older, that's for sure.
Mhm.
But at some point, we're gonna get you. We're gonna get you. Not another peep. Time to go to sleep.
That still sounds the same.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one. That was perfect. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that's all I have. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for your service, and thank you for these great questions. And gosh, it's been a blast.
Uh, and I do wish you the best in your career
Thank
and your
you.
future endeavors. And I to see actors being successful after their acting career is just it's a good thing to see.
You mean in my senior years? Is that right, Ben?
Well, not really. I mean, come on now.
It's okay. It's okay. Thank you very, very much. This has been a delight, and thank you. We've had a lot of emails back and forth. We're like this now.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Have a great evening, and I really do appreciate talking to you. It's been fun.
Thank you. You too.